Let's offer our collective pranams at lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan. Swami, please join us this wonderful roundtable discussions. We are going to talk about all your work, what you asked us to do. Please be with us and guide us to take these panel discussions in right way and take away for many of us. Sairam, everyone, elders, and my brothers and sisters. Today we are going to have a special guest with us, Dr. Geeta Kamath. We are going to have a very great, I would say, like awesome roundtable discussion on the various questions and answers related to this service which Swami asked us to do. Before going to a roundtable, I want to introduce Dr. Geeta, and then I have three sisters. They're also joining us to help us. So with that note, Dr. Geeta came to Swami's fold when she was 10 years old. And Bhagavan has played a very big role in her life. I would say that, he makes sure that do a lot of work for Swami. With that note, and becoming doctor, and then her marriage, and also practicing the medicine till now, right? She's still doing it. She had a privilege of getting direct guidance in many occasions with Bhagavan interviews, and he asked her to do what the right way to do it and how to take it forward. And she is practicing hematologist and oncologist in Florida, St. Petersburg, since 1981. She's participated in a yearly medical camp during Bhagavan's birthday in Prasanthi since 1975. For past 15 years, she has actively participating in Guru Purnimas and Swami's birthday during the time all the medical camps in Parthi. She started conducting annual medical camps that includes dental hygiene, dental treatment, eye, podiatric camps. You can keep on going. I can ask more questions like she's doing even apart from the medicals also. Okay. In addition, she participates once a month, started a medical clinic at the St. Petersburg Free Clinic, and I want to list all the awards what she got. She got many awards, and the first award is given by the humanitarian awards, and also she got hero awards in the sense of like everyday hero awards. There is many awards I can keep on listing today, and then a community hero award every day. So right now, sister serving as an international medical camp coordinator and also our region medical director. Any questions, you know where to go. Okay. So thank you, Geeta, for your valuable time today. And then I wanted you to help us giving your insight on how to take this service forward. With that, I wanted to also introduce three sisters with us, with Geeta, to help us this roundtable going smooth and nicer. So Diane Justice from Atlanta Sai Center, and then Sankita Varnasi from Raleigh Sai Center, and the Sai Lakshmi from Charlotte Sai Center. Geeta, it's all yours. Take it forward.
Sai Ram, everyone. My humble pranams to the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Today we have chosen a wonderful topic, spirit of selfless service. A topic that is very dear to Swami. And if I can say, Swami took birth and walked on this earth to teach us this very lesson, which is selfless service. He did this all his life. Even as a little boy, he used to go hungry. He gave his food that was served by his parents, and he would give it to the beggars who were at the doorstep. He also drew water from the well for not only for his family, for the elderly, whoever asked him, he was there for them. Swami has said, selfless service is the very reason he has given us this life. We are born to serve, he says. During Treta Yuga, Rama had a very easy job, I should say. He took care of only the Ravana clan. During Krishna's time, that is the Dwapara Yuga, he had to take care of the Kaurava clan. But during this Kaliyuga, Swami has a much tougher and very difficult job, because these demons, the Ravanas and the Kauravas, are in every one of us. So he had to come with a different plan. He could not kill us. He only could transform us. So that is the purpose of this avatar, is to transform us. And then he realized that we are not all that bright. We cannot be put through all the rigors of spiritual discipline. So he had to simplify things for us. So he came up with a recipe. I call it the Kaliyuga Recipe. And it is very simple. And there are only 2 ingredients in it. One, Namasmarana from a pure heart. And the second one is the much more important one, that is the selfless service. Swami says, selfless service is higher than Namasmarana. When you do Namasmarana, there is a pinch of selfishness. But when you do selfless service, it is very pure. You are in direct connection with God during selfless service, because there is no little self. You are connected with the higher self. So how does he define selfless service? He says, service activities done without indulging in any selfish interest, that is selfless service. And then he says one thing more that is very important. If done with selfish interest, it would amount to an attempt to deceive God. And that is very important. That's why selfless service is very important. If you are doing service, do it selflessly. So I want to stop at this point, and I want to open to our panel for discussion, for question and answers. And Diane is going to go first, I was told. Please, Diane, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Sister Geeta, we're so happy you're here. And I got so wrapped up, I forgot I was supposed to do anything here. So, but if you could give us a little personal experience on how you first came to find out about Sai and just how you were attracted to him.
My parents were very ardent devotees of Swami. So I just got into Sai fold through my wonderful parents. When my father first went to Swami, that was in late 50s, we had a lot of business problems. My father had a lot of business problems. So Swami told him that he used to call my father Poi. He said, Poi, there is a big hole in your lifeboat and you are ready to get drowned. And he said, I am your captain. I am going to take you across the sea of this samsara, or the ocean of samsara. And he said, which is very dear to me, is that he said, your children are my children, and I'm going to take care of them. Because my father always used to worry about us, 3 of us. He said, I will personally take care of them. And sure enough, Swami took care of our education. He got us the right spouses that we needed. And we, all three of us, are in his fold and working for his mission. And I'm very, very happy that we are in the Sai fold.
Okay, I've got another one for you. What are the lessons you've learned from Baba, and how did he change your life personally?
See, Swami knows everybody's weakness. And I had many of them. I was very stubborn. I was also very fearful, I should say. As when I first became an intern and I had to work in Parthi, we were all alone working in the night, taking care of all the emergencies. And I was very fearful. And what Swami does in those situations is gives you the exact thing you need to take that weakness from you. And that's why we call him our guru, because he knows all your weaknesses. And that's the first thing he got rid of me, is that fear of taking care of emergencies. Second thing, I did not want to be, example, a doctor on the weekend. You know, work whole week, you work as a doctor, and I wanted to do some simple service activities. I wanted to go to soup kitchen, cut vegetables. And Swami got very upset with me. I still remember that interview. Swami said, you went to medical school to become a doctor. You did not go to medical school to learn to cut vegetables. Many people can cut vegetables, but very few can do the work you can do. So go back and find things to do. And I explained to Swami at that time how difficult it is to do medical services in USA without having legal problems. You know, even in this country, even trying to do very humane things, you can still get sued. So I explained that to Swami, and Swami said, I will be with you. I am going to help you. So go ahead and do what you are taught. So the takeaway from this one is, for everyone, you have to give to the community the talents that you have, not something that you are comfortable with, that you want to feel good about. But you have to give back to the community what the community needs. And that is a very important thing I learned from Swami. And it is that discipline is very important.
Okay, here's a big one. I'm going to actually read this one. When faced with difficult decisions, especially now in Swami's physical absence, how do you make those decisions, and what advice can you give to others facing this situation? And also, how have you managed to keep your faith in Swami, especially if things aren't going your way?
See, when I first got married and came to this country, I really missed his physical presence. I was very attached to his body, because we were, when growing up, we used to go to Parthi several times a year. With a drop of a hat, we would go to Parthi, talk to Swami. He would normally call us for interview. We have lots of fun. Swami had a lot of humor. We enjoyed him. We never really progressed spiritually, I should say. So Swami knew this. And he got me married to a guy who was in US. And I was very against coming to US at that time. I did not want to come here. I wanted to marry somebody in India. But Swami did exactly the opposite, because he thought that if I stayed in India, I would never progress spiritually. So when I came here, when problems came, I had to deal with them myself with his help, long distance, praying. learn to read his books, learn to read his teachings, and understand him better. Of course, there was a small lifeline that were my parents were still alive. If the difficulties were unbearable, I was able to send it through my parents to Swami. But when my parents passed away, even that lifeline went away. Then I had to learn myself. Now, I feel Swami with me all the time. I never miss his physical presence because he is with me all the time, responding to every little thing. And so I don't feel that the absence. In fact, I feel him more than I used to feel him before. And I will be telling some of my camp experiences, and you will know that, how close he is. When you are doing selfless service, Swami says you are in direct line with him. It is like you are with a speed dial with Swami. It goes directly to him. Swami says he's like a king and he has many ministers. And the ones that come to him are closely connected with selfless service. All the lower requests, he will give it to different ministers. But one that is associated with selfless service comes directly to him. So we have his assurance, and he has shown me time and again, how he responds to difficult situations. And one example I will say quickly. When I was in Parthi, I was in the Indian medical camp. I do not know Telugu. And here comes a lady. I was seeing a patient. Her blood pressure was very high. And she was telling me that her husband had passed away, and that's the reason her blood pressure is elevated. And I did not understand that Telugu. And like Swami told us, you have to smile, you have to laugh, you have to be kind, you have to be compassionate. I was smiling with her without knowing what her problem was. And then she was staring at me. So then the doctor next to me who knows Telugu told me what she was telling me, and I felt very bad. And I said, what an inappropriate reaction from my point of view. Here she's telling, young woman telling her husband had passed away, and I'm smiling. So after that, we explained to her in Telugu what to do for her blood pressure. Immediately after she left, I told Swami, this is my last international medical camp. I'm never going to come here again because I was not appropriate to that lady. And I do need a person to translate now, because that particular medical camp, we did not have translators. So we were all told we have to manage it with the little Telugu we knew. And I knew only few words. So here comes, instantly, that very instant, a nurse from Hyderabad hospital comes, who speaks English and Telugu fluently. She's an ICU nurse. And she came all of a sudden to my room, and she said, I'm looking for work and I can do anything. I can even translate. And guess what I did? I took her immediately, and she translated all the 10 days for me very nicely. She even knew what I was going to tell next. That's how good she was. And her name is Shubhodaya. That means good morning. And that was the good morning Swami gave me that morning. Sairam.
Well, I think this kind of follows along with what you were just talking about, but we're sure that Swami has put you through many tests in your life, and you told us just one here, but can you share how you have handled some of these other tests that you've been approached with?
One thing we have to realize our tests are, see, when you offer to Swami that you want to advance spiritually, that means you are asking for tests, okay? And you have to be prepared for them. And when the tests come, they come one after the other. There is no time in between. You know, it's like pain and pleasure. There is no pleasure at all. From 1990 to year 2000, we went through a lot of difficulties in our personal life with our business partnership. And every single time, it was a test after test after test, and going to the courtroom after courtroom after courtroom. And every single time, Swami was there. It was very long time, but it was a pleasant time because I knew that Swami was with us all the time. And I'm always reminded of Khalil Gibran, the philosopher and the poet, who says, when you make yourself a dough and give it in the hands of divinity, what happens? He kneads you, he flattens you, he beats you, and makes you, turns you into that beautiful bread and throws it into the divine oven and makes a beautiful divine bread. So when you ask Swami that you want to progress in your spiritual life, be prepared for the tests. And when the tests come, hold on to him. Hold on to him. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Sister Geeta. It's an absolute honor and pleasure to be on this panel. Thank you for including me. Without any delay, I'll start with my first question. I know you have had a lot of amazing medical service experiences. Any memorable service experience that you would like to share with us today, please?
I can share with you many experiences, but I will, because of the time limit, I might have to do only a few. When I first started doing service screening camps, for many years I did screening camps, and I was not satisfied with the screening camps because I felt that we saw the patients and we took care of their sugar and this one, and after that they were lost, you know. Never really got satisfied. So I went back to Swami at that time and I told him that because of the guidelines here that we are not able to provide treatment and only we have to do service screening camps. And then Swami said, no, I will be there for you and go ahead with the treatment camps. So when I came back, I slowly started one by one treatment camps, because from all the surveys from the screening camps, patients told us that they need dental services, eye services, podiatry services. These were the three main ones they asked. So we thought we'll start with the dental service, because in one of the hospitals, once a patient died from endocarditis. She was only 30 years old. And that hospital administrator is a lady that I knew very well. And she said, you need to get with the St. Pete Free Clinic and start some dental camps. So we started with the dental camps. We initially started the dental hygiene camp, and then we started the dental treatment camp, and then we got the podiatry camp. Everything went well, but I wanted to start the eye camp. And I did not know how to start the eye camp. It was the most difficult of all the camps. But I sent a flyer to the community, 100 people, we will be doing eye exam, free eye glasses, all that went into the community. One thing I missed was I should have asked Swami's permission for that eye camp. Week before the eye camp, I don't have an ophthalmologist, I don't have an optometrist, I don't have an eye technician, I don't have a refractor. I don't have anybody. I have 14 non-medical volunteers. So I was livid. So around noontime, I was finishing with my patients in my satellite office at that time. I had made hundreds of phone calls to different ophthalmologists, optometrists. Everybody will say, I have to think about it, I will try, I will this, I will that. But by noontime, I was really getting nervous. So I called whom I call the sounding board. I have two of them. One is my dear husband. And then the founding president of our center, Esther Howard, a very wise lady. I called two of them and I said, listen, I have never done this before and I might have to cancel the ICAM. If I don't hear from anybody by 5 o'clock this evening, I think I'm going to cancel the ICAM because it's ridiculous to do ICAM without eye doctors. So my husband said, wait, have faith in Swami. And the same thing was told to me by Esther Howard. And by 1 o'clock, I was getting more nervous. So I walked over to a Swami Center, which is right next to my satellite office. I put my head on Swami's footstool and shed some tears. And I said, Swami, I have never canceled a camp after your name was sent out to the community. But this time I don't have an eye doctor. I don't have anybody. How am I going to do this eye camp? And I prayed to him and I drove to my main office. Believe it or not, it is about 20-minute drive from a satellite to the main office. I got 2 ophthalmologists call me, 2 optometrists call me, 1 eye technician call me, Lions Club called me and gave me an okay to get a refractor. So I had a foundation now. By 5 o'clock, I felt so rich. And I said, this camp is on and Swami wants this. So this is an experience that I will never forget in my life. And so to go on, we got 2 more optometrists. We had a wonderful eye camp. We saw 108 patients, not 100, 108 patients. And we had a wonderful eye camp that year. And that was the first experience of the eye camp. I will tell you 2 dental camp experiences. I came from a Guru Purnima camp one time. I was extremely tired because our Guru Purnima camp was very busy. And the following week was a dental camp. And when we went there at 6:30 in the morning, I walked to the dental room. We have 6 dental chairs. And one dental chair, something happened mechanically and the chair went high up. Nobody knew how to bring it down. And then we go to 2 other rooms. The dental lamps were gone in the 2 other rooms. That means 3 rooms gone out of the 6 rooms we have. And we have 60 to 80 patients who have registered. We have to have 6 operating rooms all the time. Every half hour, a patient gets 1 room. So we calculate it. By 3 o'clock, we have to finish all the patients. I was livid. I needed a speed dial. I could not do it from the dental room. The dental room was full of mechanics, everybody from the health department, everybody was trying to fix. So I got out of the room and went straight to the restroom. There was peace. I called to Swami and I said, Swami, I want you now. And now, 3 rooms are not working. I need you right now. Did one Sai Gayatri, came out of the restroom, went to the dental room, the chair came down, the lights went on, everything was back in place. Apparently there was some guy knew the chair, you had to kick the chair from the side and the chair came down. So suffices to say that the dental camp went very well. All the 6 rooms were used. And the second dental experience was actually very recently. We usually go the day before to set up the camp. And when I went to set up the camp, the 4 o'clock, the evening before, the head of the dental department came and said, our vacuum pump in the dental department is not working. So it has flooded the dental rooms, and we have tried to call people to fix it. They could not fix it completely, and you cannot work. You need to cancel the dental camp tomorrow. Now, canceling a dental camp means calling about 80 to 90 patients, 30 volunteers, 8 dentists, 8 dental assistants, pre-dental students, everybody. Canceling the food. It was an impossible event. So I said, that is not possible. I knew this girl very well from the head. I said, there is no way we can cancel this dental camp. We have to figure out what we can do. So we went to this room to see this vacuum pump. It was leaking water from the sides, and the water was coming on the floor, and they could not do 6 patients that day on Friday. Imagine us doing about 80 patients the next day. So she said, you're going to flood this whole place if you're going to do that many patients. It is like a water disposal. You know, when they clean the mouth, all the water goes into that, and that disposes of the water. So I said, I believe in the higher self. Please give me an opportunity. She said, I can't give you any authorization to do this. I have to get people higher up. So she goes, and her boss, the boss's boss, and the boss, 3 men come down, and we are in this room with the vacuum pump. And Adi, our president, was with me, who is very mechanical and very bright. He said, what we can do is we can keep lots of rags, and minute the water comes, we will mop it and we will put it in the sink. And I will take care of that myself. All the assurances went on. I convinced all the big bosses, and I said, I really believe in this higher self. And they authorized. From the dental place, I went straight to Swami Center and wrote a letter to Swami. Swami, that is my speed dial again. Wrote a letter to him. Swami, this equipment is not working. I need your help. And I left the Swami Center, came home. We went there early in the morning at 6:30. As always, our dental camp starts. We had rags in the car, rags in the boxes. We we were like a rag country, you know. So we went there. Believe it or not, not a drop of water came out of that vacuum pump. Not a drop. The whole day, we finished 69 patients. Not a drop of water came out of it. And then I'm sitting at the exit area. Here comes a man. He tells the registration, I didn't come for a dental work. He said, he looked at me and he's saying, I was sleeping outside here all night. He was sitting there all night, and he said, I'm very tired. And he comes and sits right in front of me. And I said, I asked him, do you want some breakfast? He said, yes, I will have breakfast. He had nice breakfast, nice 2 cups of coffees, and he looked around and he left. What a feast it was. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I'll tell you one more last experience of the camp, so we can move on. During my podiatry camp, we usually have 200 patients. That's a camp very much liked by the community, because we not only clean their feet, we wash their feet, and we give them new shoes. So there is a lot of competition. And I'm inside the podiatry camp, and I get a call to come out right away, because 2 women were fighting in the line. Okay, one woman was a very young woman, and the other one was an older lady, because the older lady felt this younger one should not be in the line, because she was well dressed, she had a 6-inch height shoes and, very well dressed, lots of jewelry and all that. She said, you don't belong here. This is for the people, who don't have anything. So the lady said, I want a walking shoes, and I have every right to get these shoes. So the fight between the two ladies, and as always in the community, you have to watch people take sides. So the two sides were formed outside, and they were yelling at each other. So for every camp of ours, usually we have a security officer there. For some reason that day there was no security. So I became the police officer then. So I walked out trying to look taller than I am. At least I have a voice that is very good. So I raised my voice and I said, people, listen, I am going to close the doors of the camp. Please be silent. So when I said that, whole place became silent. And I knew what they were fighting with each other for. So I knew that I need to take that little lady out of that place. So I told her to follow me. I told everybody to line up. I took that lady out inside, and she was still angry. She was talking to me. They were mean to me, this, that. So I asked her, what's your name? She said, my name is Chantilly, or something like that. So I said, do you know what it means? She said, I don't know. So I said, it means peace. I didn't know that was it. It was. I made it up actually. I said, that is peace. She was so happy. She was, is that what it is? She was so happy. She went through the whole camp. An hour later, I'm seeing her in the shoe area with her mother. She's sitting with her mother. She said, I liked the camp so much. I dialed my mom and I told her to come for the camp. Can you tell me the meaning of my mother's name? She said, so she said some name. I said, that means happiness. So the whole thing went so well. And Swami took care of all the problems. This is what he does to me during every single camp. So it is actually a pleasure. It's a very beautiful journey, and I really enjoy it. Sairam.
Wow, those are some really memorable experiences, Dr. Geeta, and I'm sure you have many more of such. But let me go to my next question. Why does Swami say selfless service is essential for one's spiritual growth?
What happens when you do selfless service is you are clearing the clutter in our mind. Because the clearing the clutter in your mind is the most important sadhana. And as Swami said, you can do it with namasmarana or the selfless service. What happens when you do selfless service, that very minute when you are doing that selfless service, you are not thinking about your lower self. You are connecting with the higher self. So you have given place to whom? You have given place to God. So you have cleared the clutter, and He expedites your spiritual journey. Sooner you clear the mind, sooner He gets you there to the end of the journey, which is self-realization. And that's what happens when you do selfless service.
Amazing. And it's pretty much like a continuation to the same question. And how does the service develop the 5 Sai human values, namely truth, right conduct, peace, love, non-violence? So how does service help?
See, when you give them the very place in your mind, when you're clearing that clutter, and when you please make God takes that place, what happens? What is God is made up of? God is made up of these 5 values. So when you give place to God, you are basically practicing those 5 values, and that's what happens when you clear that. Yes.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Next question is actually, how do we inform and encourage other people, even like non-devotees of Swami, about the Seva projects? And, but again, being very careful without the ego getting in the way, how do we include others into Swami's Seva projects?
This is very, very dear to me. What we are doing at our center is trying to include non-devotees. It's very, very important. Service is one place where everybody likes to come. You know, whether you are a Christian, whether you are a Muslim, you are a non-devotee, atheist, everybody likes to do service. Service is a common place where anybody will come and help you. And that is the best place to practice Swami's teaching. That's the best place to practice Swami's teaching and tell the non-devotees, tell your community what service is all about. SSIO organization is the only organization which teaches the service in the right spirit, because it teaches selfless service. Everywhere you go, people want to do service, but what do you, if you give, you get back. You give, you get back. This is the only place where you only give, and give. You never take anything. So during our medical camp orientations, I do two types of orientations. One is to the devotees, okay? When we do the first orientation to the devotees, that orientation is mainly to present to Swami what service activity we are doing, that, the planning, everything. And I'm also presenting the service activity to the group, the volunteers, so that they are also gods. That's how I see them. So I need input from them. If there is any do's and don'ts, everything we hash out in that particular meeting. Now, the second orientation I do is on the day of the camp. And there, where we have devotees and non-devotees come. My patients come and serve. My friends come and serve. Our nurses come and serve. I tell all the devotees of the center to encourage their colleagues to come and help. In fact, we give them preference because that is where they learn about Swami. Because it is not important to know about Sai Baba, okay? What Swami is interested is in transformation of every human being. They can be praying to Rama, they can be praying to Jesus, they can be praying to Allah. But if they did transformation, self-transformation, that is the most beautiful thing that can happen in those activities. So during those orientation, I usually tell people about providing loving service, compassionate service, speaking obligingly. There should be no fights whatsoever between the volunteers. We don't check anybody's finances. Everybody is entitled to come for the camp. We don't ask any questions. So these are the things we get across to the non-devotees that come to that service. And to go one step forward, we have taken over the soup kitchen now, which is a very, very interesting project. What we do is prepare dinner second and fourth Saturdays of every month. Initially, we devotees, we used to go and cook and then serve, cook and serve. Now, what we decided to do was we make one family go, and that family is made to bring their neighbors, their friends, their colleagues, and they tell us how many members, how many volunteers they have. The rest of the volunteers come from the center, okay? So each family will bring, so this way we are exposing people to the service, the teachings of Swami. And it is absolutely beautiful. And many a times these people who come to help want to have their own day. So if they want to celebrate a birthday of a child or a anniversary, anything they want to celebrate, they celebrate with with the soup kitchen service, and it is so wonderful. And believe it or not, who loves it? The children love it the most, because that is one service the children do, and it is absolutely beautiful.
Fantastic.
Ram?
Yes, I think you almost answered my next question also. Then my next question was, how do you encourage SSC children into seva activities, and what advice would you give to the parents?
Every center, every service coordinator should know this. They have to find service activities to fit the whole family. It's very, very important. And I know for medical camps, for example, children are not allowed. It has to be 18 and above. But soup kitchen service, we have very, very good SSC teachers who have done such wonderful job with the children. And actually, I have slides to show this. They go to the nursing homes and work with the elderly. They make all kinds of things. During Halloween, they cut the pumpkins with the elderly. During Christmas, they go and do another project with the art and craft projects. They go other times and they prepare a nutritious smoothie and serve all the elderly. And these children interact with the elderly. And that is the beauty of this. They interact with them. Because remember, loneliness is the biggest disease of the elderly in this country. Because I have patients who come just to see me, just to hug me, just to talk to me, because their family members have never come to see them for months together sometimes. And that's the sad part. So when these children go there, interact with them, play music, they do all kinds of things with the children. That is another thing, another activity. They also participate in the highway cleaning project. Anywhere where the children can be brought in, I prefer that kind of activity. It is very, very important. And when the teachers go with the children, the parents also come. And they also see. Sometimes they may be not devotees. Maybe the mother is a devotee, maybe father, but they get to see what service is all about. Gardening is another thing children do. They go to the backyard of devotees' houses and make gardens, and it is working together, because the unity, you are teaching them unity at a very young age, and they enjoy it very much. They enjoy it very much. So I really encourage that. I really encourage that.
Very good points and very good advice, Dr. Geeta. My last question is about continuity of care. So, in between the camps, there are so many patients that just slip through the cracks. How do you manage to, bridge that gap and have continuity of care for the patients with your service activities?
There are two people involved in this. One is the doctor who provided the service. Now remember that the service that the doctor provided is for her or his own growth. Am I right? His growth. When he provides service, he is growing. By Swami's definition, the person who gets more results is the person who is giving than who is receiving. If that is so, the doctor is getting a lot of benefit from the service. Now, what does that doctor do? Tomorrow you're going to see the patient in your office. Is that a different job? Swami says no. Don't ever compartmentalize your life. It is a continuity of care. Tomorrow when you go to the office and you see your own patients, you provide the service in that spirit, the same spirit you did the camp the day before. Same love, same compassion. Maybe you charge the patient. Maybe you charge the patient. Maybe you charge the patient 100%. But you can do 120% care, can you? We all can do that. And that's what Swami is talking about. Self-transformation. First is the transformation of the person who is giving the service. And that is for Swami is very, very important. Now the second person who is the one who is receiving. What is the continuity of care for that person? Now, when you are doing the service, the screening camps, you are giving them names of the different clinics to go and continue the care, right? We all do that through social services. We find all the free clinics that they can go and they can continue their check of the blood pressure, blood sugar. At least that's what I did when I did the screening camps. But you can go one more step. You find time to work in your own county clinic, free clinic, because that's what we are doing now. When I changed from the screening camp to the treatment camp, we started doing Saturday clinics where we could have continuity of care, So we continued the patients, taking care of the patients there. So that was another way you can look at it further. Sairam.
Sairam, excellent points. With that, I will let Dr. Sangeeta take over. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, Geeta ji. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to start off with a quote of Swami, and he said this November 24th, 1998. Love can eradicate any type of disease and act as a pancreas for all afflictions. What are practical applications of this teaching that we can apply to this crisis that we're going through right now?
I'm going to start off with a memorable interview with Swami. This was right after our marriage. We had just finished, I was still an intern, and my husband was doing residency. It was one of the first interviews for my husband also, and Swami was very, very happy, and he started asking what my specialty is and what his specialty is. And so we said, my husband said he's a gastroenterologist, and Swami lovingly said, that's where all the problem starts, And he says, North Indians eat chapatis like this, he shows with his hand, and South Indians eat rice like this, and that's the cause of all problems. And that's how he starts the whole interview. And he says, he asked me how many patients I'm seeing. And it is, then he says, we should not see too many patients, okay? When we see too many patients, what happens is the quality of care goes down, Swami says, quality of care. And then he gets up and goes near the interview door with a big smile on his face, and he's acting now. He's holding a hand of a patient, and he's walking with the patient, and then he comes and sits on the chair, and he says, this is how you have to greet the patient. You have to have a beautiful smile on your face. You should not have cod liver faces when you see the patient. You have to have this beautiful smile. And then he takes my husband's hand and he takes his pulse and he says, you have to have this smile when you take the pulse of the patient. If you have a disgusted look on your face, the pulse goes up, blood pressure goes up, and that's not the way to examine a patient. And then he goes on and tells how to examine individual organs. He went in depth with the cancer care. It is little beyond this 1 hour meeting. But to cut the story short, he says, love the patient. He said, when you love your patient, what happens is the patient loves you, okay? When the patient loves you, what happens is the patient develops confidence in you. And what does it result? Is in cure of the disease. He says, when your patient has confidence in you, he has love, that's when he gets, he's able to cure all ills. And one of the things Swami also says is that we have to take care of the patient as a whole. It makes me very, very sad when patients these days go to family doctors and, they go with the list of questions. If they go beyond the first line, the doctor says, you are here for only the first question. If you want me to answer the second question, you have to make another appointment tomorrow. And that is the sad part of our medicine this day. We don't take care of the patient completely. The heart, the lungs, the kidneys, everything, all are connected organs. How can you treat only nasal stiffness or the nasal stuffiness or cough or this or that without knowing all the other problems? Patients' cough may be completely from different problems. How you give a cough medicine to a patient? Did you ask the patient if he has a high blood pressure? Many of the high blood pressure medications cause cough. So what did you do? You treated the patient wrongly. So it is very, very important. Swami says that you take care of the patient as a whole, and bringing the mental health is very, very important, because when there is mental balance, there is no disease, Swami says. When there is a mental balance, there is no disease. So we have to use this type of care at all times, whether it is daily seeing patients or during crisis time. How can we say during crisis time, I will not take care of the sick patients? It is like a soldier of this country. The country is in war and the soldier says, oh, country is in war, I'm not going to be a soldier now, tomorrow. We have taken an oath to take care of the patients, and no matter what it is, even if it amounts to death from line of duty, we have to accept that, because that's the oath we have taken. And that's how I deal with the crisis. Swami always says, why fear when I'm here? We should not forget that. Sairam.
That was an amazing answer. One more question. How do we provide service safely in these times of COVID when we have to socially distance from each other?
Swami says we have to follow the rules and the regulations of the local organization, the local government, the federal government, and we have also have to follow the guidelines of SSIO, our organization. And when the lockdown came, all our service activities came to a stop, And I remember the first time I went to the soup kitchen, because our devotees could not prepare food or do the soup kitchen service. We came up with the idea that we will have the food cooked or delivered. So since I have license to drive even during lockdown, myself and my husband went to the soup kitchen and we delivered the food. Just like Subbu told us, he delivered the food. So when I went to deliver the food, the cook there asked me, aren't you going to serve? And I said, no, we were told that we can only deliver the food. And he was kind of shocked. He looked at me and he said, there is nobody to serve food. So I have to just put this food on the table and let the people take whatever they want. So I left with that very sad feeling in the soup kitchen. And Jay was driving and I was in the car and I was talking to him. And I said, I felt as if I left the food to dog or a cat in the house. We put the food in a little bowl and we leave and the cats and dogs eat. So I said, Swami, my speed dial called Swami. I said, Swami, I did not like this a bit. I said, I felt horrible. You have to do something about this. So I was on call that day and I went to the hospital to finish my rounds. And, all my, the camp nurses and everybody are actually bored now because we don't have the camps going on. So I met one and And they said, if there is any kind of service activities, they would be very happy to come and help. So I went beyond what Subbu said, and we put these PPEs, all of us, the nurses, the doctors, and the hospital chef, who was the nicest chef. He said he will prepare the food in the hospital setting, and we took the food, we wore the PPEs, we had the face covered, and we limited the number of people to only 4 or 5. Normally for this service, we have 13, 14. So we avoided all the numbers, and we were able to keep the distance. And all we had to do was to put a salad together there. The pasta was already prepared, and we served, and Swami helped me with that service, and that's what we've been doing. I've not been pushing the center members to come because they are under the guidelines, or if they felt strongly and they could wear a PPE and they felt strongly about it, they have to let us know, and then maybe we can use one at a time. But this is what we are doing right now in that area. Now, you cannot go to nursing home. There is a huge breakout in all nursing homes in Florida. So that is a complete stop. Medical camps. Now, I've been able to open up the free clinic. Now, our St. Pete Free Clinic has opened this month, and we are going to limit the number of patients, just like my office patients. We are going to see, instead of 6 or 12 patients, we might end up seeing 2 or 3 patients, because the lounge is very small, and they are going to let only 3 patients at a time in the lounge, because that's the distance that they can sit. And the rest of the people are going to sit in the car, and we are going to call them as we open up the place. Now, the dental camp was postponed to June, but we have to postpone it further now, because anything with secretions we cannot do. Also, the dental camps are all a complete stop right now till we go by month and see what happens. But I will not do anything to give bad name to our organization, because if we cause a breakout, we will make headlines, So it's very, very important. Those things we don't do at this point, because the organization is on the line. So we have to be extremely careful. And the same thing with your screening camps, because you are bringing a crowd together. You cannot have that. You cannot have that. And in a day, you may be able to do 10 patients. Then it is not worth it, because you are starting from 6 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the evening. You cannot see 10, 20 patients. And we cannot do the volumes that we are doing. So most probably we will end up going into 2021 and see what happens. But I will be in close touch with Sangeeta, Sai Lakshmi, all the people who are doing camps. And if any new things happen, I will get in touch with Subbu. We will get his permission to do things, and we will go to higher up. For right now, we have to go day by day, month by month. Yeah, Sairam.
The next question is, if anybody would like to participate in a camp at Parthi, what is the process?
There is a question many people have asked me before. Why Parthi camp? Why do we need Parthi camp? We do camps here. Why Parthi camp? Swami always used to say, whenever we went to Parthi, first thing he would say, oh, you have come to charge your battery. We go there to recharge our battery. And that's what happens in Parthi. Parthi is a land of the avatar. And you all know, actually in Hinduism, or I'm sure in Christianity or with Islam, they would say, whenever you do a service activity in a holy land, the results multiply. Results multiply. So that is one of the reasons that we go to Parthi, is to recharge our batteries. And we were, when for many years, when Swami was in the physical plane, we used to get interviews, he used to call us, he used to make fun of us. He used to say, 25 doctors under one roof. Impossible, he said. All egos fighting with each other. And that's what we learned in those Parthi camps, is to lessen our ego. There we were able to work together. The doctors are not politicians because we have so much ego. Because we can never come to a conclusion together. We always have to disagree with somebody else. But when you do Parthi camps, when you come there, you learn there how to work with each other. Work with each other. We say Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, and we try to work things together. Sometimes we rub each other's ego, but when Swami's name comes, everything flattens. Our ego becomes very flat. No matter how many doctors you have together, Swami will teach you a lesson. We go through with a fine tooth comb the drugs for the Parthi camp, and we go over and over and over again. And we did that one year, and we went for the camp. And here comes a patient with a seizure, uncontrollable seizure. And she is in the so-called ICU in the Parthi camp. And guess what? There is a pulmonologist, the critical pulmonologist, 2 cardiologists, you name it. You had every specialty on earth in that little room. But nobody could stop a neurologist. Nobody could stop the seizure. We did not have Ativan with us. After going through that list, and what we had to do, say, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. We had to call on him to stop her seizure, because we had to send a lady to General Hospital to get a dose of Ativan. And that took almost half hour, and we had to call on him meanwhile, so she wouldn't stop breathing. This is how he teaches you. This is how he teaches you. And the Parthi camps are very, very important. You learn a lot of lessons, disciplines in Parthi. Now, your question was, what is the process?
Yeah.
Process is, you have 2 types of people. One is the non-medical volunteers. You don't have any red tape for them. They just call me or Bangar Raju, who is the medical director. We are all the coordinators. You can call me and we will sign you up and you're done. And if you need any kind of rooms or anything in Parthi, we can help you with that too. For doctors, you all have to understand that we are an extension of the general hospital. We are the extension of the general hospital. So we go through the credentialing process by the general hospital. And our applications are sent to Indian Medical Council and we get an approval. Okay, so the doctors have a little bit different approach. So doctors have to sign up a little bit sooner. Medical, non-medical, no problem anytime, but medical, you have to do a little bit sooner.
Last question, could you please explain how we can start Sai medical clinics in the US for centers that have not started those?
The most important thing is what you all are doing right now is the right thing to do, the screening camps. See, what you have to get to know is the community leaders. See, many a times I felt my screening camps were not helpful, but what it helped me was to get into the community. I knew all the leaders of the community. See, if you go to some example, St. Pete Free Clinic and say, I want to do this, this, and this. first thing they will look at you, they will look at you and ask you, what are you trying to do? Because everybody has a mindset that you want something and you are coming for something. It's always, they don't realize that the SSIO organization is an organization of giving. So they always think you are here for some benefit from some selfish act you are trying to do, So best thing I recommend is that you start working in that clinic for even, luckily, because I knew all these people, we were able to open a Saturday clinic, because it's impossible for me to do on the weekday. This has helped doing on a Saturday is patients who do not want to skip their work. They can come on Saturdays, which is very, very important. And also, we were able to bring multiple specialties together on the Saturdays, and we were able to do that. So what I recommend is you have to be very patient. You cannot do these big treatment camps. You have to start at a lower level, or start working in your free clinics, get to know the leaders, do little acts, show your presence, show that you are sincere, show that you are loving. See, what happens is our SSIO organization has become well known in our community, I should say. I'll tell you a story. One of the tent city residents lost his denture. His denture was eaten up by a raccoon. So he was so mad with the whole tent city people. He was blaming everybody. So they did not know what to do, because the cost would be about a couple of $1,000 to get it done. So they called me. So when they called me, I called the dentist that helps me, the dental camp, and I asked her how we can work this out. And she said, no problem. Have them send him at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we will work together and we'll get it going. And she saw the patient and got him a brand new denture, So this takes a long way for the community leaders. See, when they are in trouble, when they need help, they remember to call you. So when you need something, you want to open up a small camp, or you want to have a meeting with them, they make time for you. So it works both ways. It works both ways. Example, I had a soup kitchen that was going to close about 2 months ago because the bathroom was leaky, there was mold, and the county came and said, we are going to close this place if you don't fix this within 30 days. And the leader there was called me, and she was desperate. She said, even if I put out for a loan, it will be 60 days. They want the work started in 15 to 20 days, otherwise they are going to close. So how can we help? So there are many physicians who always ask me, how can we help your camps? And I usually don't take any funds from anybody. So whenever these kind of projects open up, I call them, here is the entity, and they are looking for help so that we can help our homeless population. Within about 48 hours, we put the funds together, the work started going, the soup kitchen is intact this day. That's how you help your community, and they always remember. So whenever there is a opportunity, so that's when you say, tell Swami, please give me the opportunity. And I'm going to stop. I think we have gone overboard. So I want to thank Swami for giving this opportunity. I also want to thank Balu Karanam and Subbu and all the regional officers. I also want to thank center presidents for doing this extraordinary job week after week, and bringing it to all the brothers and sisters of this region. But I want to ask one favor from all the brothers and the sisters of this region is to follow and practice one teaching of Swami. When all this ends, when all these videotaping and virtual meetings end, let us all take one teaching of Swami and practice that in depth and transform ourselves. And that will make Swami very happy. Sairam.
Thank you, Geeta. I think we're about right time. Definitely. I just wanted to, I know you spoke an hour, and they told me like 5 minutes. I need to recap what we did said. It's very nice notes. I was taking at the same time. I'm laughing myself in many occasions, which is you brought it. That's Swami's love. The one thing I loved it. This is the first time I'm hearing it. This Kaliyuga Recipe. I love it. You know, that is the Namasmarana selfless service. These two recipes, I think I'm telling you, it's easy to digest. Number one, but at the same time, you can do it. But I know you said Namasmarana has a little more salt than the selfless service. It has the right amount of salt where you can able to take it up. Thank you so much for that one. And I like the one, the cutting vegetables experience, and what Swami made you to say that, giving that, don't fear, this is your duty, be with the duty. I think that's a perfect example what he tried to say. And then the one thing is, it's always very important what Swami told is the give the community the talent you have. That is something, I think it's not only for doctor alone, it's for even everybody. I know, there are people are with so many talents and definitely wanted to bring that one up and then share with the people, right? That's good. And then this is one thing I just want to say, tell the my service coordinators very especially at next in our next monthly meeting I used to have is the how to trust Swami and use the speed dial to resolve your issues. Many cases, this what happens is many people will say, "Sir, is going to come. Oh, I don't know how to do it. I don't I don't know what to do. Don't worry. I think the speed dial is a Swami. Write a letter. That many ideas you gave, especially about the how to ask him. Thank you so much for that note, right? And then the what selfless service does. That's the clears our clustering in the mind. The clutters in the mind is very important to clean. Number one, that's what everybody we needs today also, right? And then I see that very good. This is something I'm going to tell my service coordinators, right? Everybody thinks that, oh, running a medical camp, even a screening camp is good. It's very hard. I think the good point just now I'm realizing it. That makes us to connect to the community leaders to understand the significance behind taking Swami's love to the community. That's very beautifully you said it. I hope that my service coordinators at the center and the group leaders will take a look at this video again and again and again to understand many things which I didn't cover much. But definitely, I would encourage at the same time that everybody please reach out to Geeta, or if you know how to reach out to me. I'm definitely help you to. I'm telling you, Parthi camp, you love it. I've been two times Parthi camp as a not as a doctor, so as a non-medical thing. I'm telling, morning starts at 5:30 and evening 5:30, 12 hours. You don't even feel tired. You'll see the love and smile with the people. They'll come. They talk to you in Telugu, and then it's very interesting. I know half-cooked Telugu, but still I was able to manage. My daughter also started, speaking Telugu too. There are some of the countries and Tamil. You see all kind of people come. I'm telling you, in your life, I'm telling you, take one trip to do the medical Parthi camp. That's totally different environment where you will meet. Thank you so much, Geeta, for your valuable time. Again, once again, which is really good. Where what the service is going to lead us. I think that's what Swami wants us to do. So, and again, I want to thank Diane. Thanks for your time. And Sankita, thank you so much for your time. And Sai Lakshmi Garu, thank you so much again. We love to move to next segment in the agenda. We are going to watch a nice video, which is the Region 3 put together. So you watch that, and then of course after that the devotional singing at the end. Thank you so much. Jai Sai Ram.
mountain and jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
founded in 1906, is a nonprofit agency serving children and families' needs in western North Carolina. ALIDA's mission is simple: helping children succeed. Situated on a 300-acre campus in Asheville, ALIDA serves children from newborns to young adults. ALIDA offers multiple services: residential and day treatment for high-risk children, including children who have been physically abused, sexually abused, and neglected. ALIDA's core values are faith, hope, and love, honoring the intrinsic value and dignity of each child. The staff provides an environment of unconditional love and respect to encourage the development of spiritual growth and self-confidence. This strong foundation is established to help a child achieve his potential. No child is ever turned away. The Asheville group heard Swami's call to help this institution. After multiple meetings with administration, the most pressing needs were identified. Initiatives including EHV training for staff, a medical fair for ALIDA students and uninsured families, followed a few months later by a medical camp, dental camp, and eye examinations were being considered. Several programs were designed and ready to launch prior to the pandemic. Teachers and staff suffer from burnout, resulting in a high turnover and diminished productivity. A wellness program to address these problems would include a support group for staff, sessions on mindfulness, meditation, journaling, nutrition, yoga, exercise, and inspirational speakers. 3 meditation rooms would be created to provide a quiet, relaxation space for rejuvenation. In addition, instructions on nonviolent communication would be offered to both staff and students. The ALIDA Students Training for Advancement, ESTA, is a novel program to introduce teens and young adults back into the community. Through a mentorship program, volunteers have the opportunity to meet with a student several times a month to serve as a role model, which most have not had during their formative years. Students would also benefit from remote tutoring, as they are significantly behind in their academic skill sets compared to their peers due to the trauma they have suffered. The need for donations and supplies and personal care items is ongoing. For our vision of support for ALIDA, this ambitious project will require the talents, love, and hard work of our greater Psi family. With Swami's grace, ALIDA was selected to be one of the regional and national Adopt a Community initiatives. Together, we can bring Baba's message of love, a beacon of hope, to the ALIDA community.
Love is my fault, truth is my breath, this is my truth.
Sairam, everyone. Recently, our devotion team sent a devotional challenge survey to find out how we are growing in our spiritual connections with Swami. Here is one beautiful response we got from one of our Sai families. Question 1. Name all the participants in the family.
Answer: Saideepa, Vishwajit, Varenya, and Venkatesh.
Question 2. What is your devotional idea?
Answer: as a family, we connect with Swami through chanting of 21 Gayatris every day. We also do bhajans at home once a week, where all our family members sing a bhajan and offer it to Swami.
Question 3. How did you come up with this idea?
Answer: we wanted to leverage this time to go inward as well as engage all our family members in this group activity.
Question 4. How often do you do it? How has this increased your family's connection to Swami?
Answer: we do bhajans once a week. This has helped us to explore and learn new bhajans and increase our connection with Swami. We recently started a YouTube channel and uploaded a few rare old bhajans. This has helped us to actively engage all our family members in activities like singing, playing instruments, and video editing.
Here is another beautiful response.
Om Shri Sai. This poster depicts my reflections from the SSIO Sai Bhagavatam His Story series. There is a picture where a group of SSC kids are chanting Swami's Ashtotrams taken from Geeta Auntie's session. Swami preached all of the other sayings put in different shapes in the poster through many speakers. I learned from Balu uncle that there are 3 paths which you can get Swami's grace: good deeds done by you, good deeds done by your ancestors, and how much you prayed for others. From another session, I learned that as we journey inwards, we reflect our love outwards. Technology means take knowledge. Prayer is man's strength and God's weakness. There are times of ups and downs. We just have to enjoy the ride. The formula to have a steady mind is the memory of the past will become the present that leads you to the presence. God is everywhere and in everyone's heart. Swami says, why fear when I am here? Sai Ram.
Hope your family, too, takes this devotional challenge and sends us a response. Sai Ram.
Sairam to all. Thank you for your support and encouragement for this Sunday satsangs, which we started as soon as the lockdown began. For next week, we have a little different program. We have Saturday and Sunday, which is May 23rd and 24th, we have a multi-regional retreat with other regions, Region 1, Region 2, Region 4 and Region 8. This is a big event with guest speakers, workshops. It's a 2-day filled event and you need registration for this. We already sent the email. Please register yourself for this event. On Monday 25th, we have 1-day program for our own region, that is Region 3, from morning till evening. This is again guest speaker with some of the workshop in the afternoon, like that. So it is a Sai filled long weekend. I totally understand nowadays because of the COVID-19, we don't know the difference between the weekday or weekend because we all work from home. So Swami is giving this wonderful opportunity to be with other regions and enjoy a massive retreat coming up. So we will be coming back on May 31st for this Sunday satsang again. Right now, we have 2 promotional videos made by YAs as well as wonderful technical team of all the regions together. So let us watch them and get inspiration, and don't forget to register for this multi-regional retreat. See you all in the retreat and also on Monday in our retreat. Thanking you again. Jai Sai Ram.
everyone. So nice to see all of you. How are you all doing?
Good.
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 How are you?
I'm okay. I was just wondering, I don't have any plans for Memorial Day weekend, so I was wondering if you guys would be down to do another round of online board games.
Actually, I'm busy. I'm going to be listening to a few speakers share their experiences that weekend in the Cycle One Hall.
Yeah, sorry, sister. Same with me as well. I signed up to volunteer in the South Indian canteen during the lunch slot.
Oh, that's pretty cool, Niyanta. I'm planning on offering a bhajan in the Prashanti Mandir. Oh, which reminds me, better make sure my harmonium's ready to go. Sounds good to me.
Sorry, everyone. I'm just finishing up an email. My life is my message and send. What's up, guys? Are we talking about the retreat?
Hold up. Retreat? What retreat?
It's our Memorial Weekend retreat.
Wait, but aren't you all from different regions?
Well, it's an online retreat.
It's going to be a unique, inspiring, and fun event.
Yeah, there's going to be SSE students, YAs, and adults. Everyone's invited to join.
Wow, that sounds awesome. But I thought you guys mentioned attending programs in Parsi. I'm confused.
That's the fun part. You will find out soon. Keep checking the website for updates. www.sciretreat.org.
मातङ्गवदना नमोस्तुते महागणपते नमोस्तुते आदिपूजिता गणनाथा आनन्ददायका गणनाथा प्रथमवन्दना प्रणवकारा विघ्नेश्वरा विनायका विघ्नेश्वरा तुम संग बांधी प्रेम की डोरी तुम संग बांधी प्रेम की डोरी चरण मांधी प्रेम की डोरी चरण मांधी प्रेम की डोरी सुमिरन करो तेरो नाम ओ साई सुमिरन शंकरा सदा शिवा सभापति शंकरा सदा शिवा सभापति चंद्रशेखरा जनार्दना महेश्वरा चंद्रशेखरा जनार्दना महेश्वरा शंकरा साई शंकरा शंकरा साई शंकरा ईश्वरा साई ईश्वरा 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 चंद्रशेखरा जटाधरा महेश्वरा चंद्रशेखरा जटाधरा महेश्वरा शंकरा सदा शिवा सदापति चंद्रशेखरा जटाधरा महेश्वरा शंकरा साई शंकरा शंकरा साई शंकरा ईश्वरा साई ईश्वरा Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thought for the day. Activity, karma, that binds is a huge, fast growing tree. The axe that can cut its roots is this: do every act as an act of worship to glorify the Lord. This is the real sacrifice, yajna, the most important ritual. This sacrifice promotes and confers knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Vidya. Note that the yearning to do selfless service must flow in every nerve of the body, penetrate every bone, and activate every cell. Those who engage themselves in spiritual discipline, sadhana, must have mastered this attitude towards service. Where there is no harshness, holiness will thrive and virtue will flourish. Where greed exists, vice will breed thick. Selfless service, seva, is the blossom of love, prema, a flower that fills the mind with rapture. Harmlessness is the fragrance of that flower. Render service to others without expecting anything in return. Let even your tiny acts be filled with compassion and reverence. Be assured that your character would thereby shine great. Chapter 8, Vidya Vahini, Baba.